Welcome to our channel. Today's story isn't just entertainment. It's a reminder we all need. Nothing is impossible when your dream is stronger than your excuses. This is the unforgettable journey of a boy who started with nothing. No big city, no money, no connections. Only one thing, a dream that refused to disappear. This is not just a story. It's a battle against fate. A journey from night security guard to software engineer. This story will shake you, it will hurt you, and it will change how you look at your own life. After this, you'll think twice before saying, I can't. The boy who looked through glass. My name is Liam. I was born in a small dusty town where people didn't dream big. They survived. They adjusted. They accepted. My family was middle class, always one step away from struggle. My father worked long hours as a mechanic, silent and exhausted. My mother carried the house on her shoulders, smiling even when she was tired. We lived in a tiny rented home. One fan, one leaking tap, and one dream that felt too large for that space. Every evening, I stood by the window watching luxury cars pass by. I wasn't jealous. I was curious. How does someone reach that life? Will I ever belong there? While other kids played, I walked kilometers to a cyber cafe. I didn't use the computers. I just watched the screens. Lines of code, digital worlds, people creating with their minds. That's when I heard the words software engineer. Felt like magic. And in that moment I decided, one day that will be me. No computer, no internet, weak English, no guidance, but belief. Then reality hit. One night, I heard my parents whisper, we can't afford college. Maybe he should start working. At 17, I folded my dream and wore a security guard uniform. The guard who refused to quit. Every night at 9 p.m., I stood outside a glass building. Inside, software engineers, warm offices, bright futures. Outside me, cold wind, dull uniform, wooden stick. But every night I told myself, this is not the end. I'm only paused. I watched the life I wanted pass me every night. During breaks, I sat in the parking lot with a cheap phone. It barely worked, but it had YouTube. I searched endlessly. What is coding? HTML for beginners. How to become a software engineer. Videos buffet. Words didn't make sense. But I didn't stop. I slept 4 hours a day. Read PDFs by candlelight. Studied after night shifts. People laughed. Relatives said, he's just a guard. Friends said, you're not smart enough. Even my father once said, some people dream, some people survive. I didn't argue, but inside I promised myself, survival will not be my limit. One night, exhausted and broken, I cried quietly under the office lights, and I asked, is this really impossible for someone like me? At 2:45 a.m., an engineer walked out and saw my notebook. What are you doing? He asked. Trying to learn coding, I replied. He smiled and said, that's brave. That one sentence changed everything. Proved I wasn't foolish. I was early. From rejection to recognition. I built my first website. Failed. Everything crashed because of one small mistake. I almost quit, but instead I rewrote the code. Learned carefully. Tried again. This time it worked. I applied to over 80 companies. 79 rejections. One reply, you're different. Let's talk. I went to the interview wearing my guard uniform. When asked about myself, I told the truth. They didn't expect me, but they hired me as an unpaid intern. For the first time, I entered the building not as a guard, but as a learner. It was hard. I felt small. I felt behind. But I refused to quit. 3 months later, I solved a problem no one else could. Soon after, my internship became paid. When I saw my first salary, I cried. Not because of money, but because my struggle finally meant something. When I gave my father that paycheck, he said, maybe your dream wasn't too big. Maybe I was just too tired to believe. Today, I work as a software engineer at a top company. Not because I was lucky, but because I refused to stop. I wasn't special. I was stubborn. Here's the truth. Talent helps, Money helps. Support helps. But the strongest power is this: a mind that refuses to quit, and a heart that keeps showing up. Nothing is impossible. If no one believes in you, believe in yourself louder. Now go prove it.